Why does it look so blurry?
Scared of my own feelings, scared of the future, just scared of everything. My life revolved around fear, and I fought this fear, tooth and nail.
To the Discord chat that we're going live.
But despite my effort, eventually, I had a full-blown breakdown.
Let's do that.
Debilitating anxiety.
What's going on, everybody?
I never thought it would end.
Right,
It haunted me almost every second of every day and controlled nearly everything I did. I dropped out of school, I quit jobs, lost touch with friends, resorted to all sorts of unhealthy coping methods, and in the end, isolated myself completely. My days were spent alone, on the internet, desperately searching for relief. There were times where I felt like it would never get better, but I didn't give up. I kept fighting and fighting, hoping that I could get back to the me that I once was. This fight...
Non-accepting behaviors is the topic of today's stream. Let's see here. Okay. How is everyone doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, all you beautiful people. All right. How is everyone doing? Should we announce on the Facebook page? What is today? Wednesday? Doing good? Okay, okay. Hanging in. Hello, Amy. Welcome. I'm doing good today. I'm doing good today. We're going to get a little stream done. Examples of non-accepting behaviors. Obviously, we talk about acceptance quite a bit here on the channel, so I figured it might be helpful, okay, if we went over a little small list of things you shouldn't do as far as acceptance is concerned. I thought that might be helpful. Feeling a little anxious today, but not bad. Okay. Hello, Laura Joyce. Hello, welcome everybody. We're going to get the point of this stream up and going in just a second. Examples of non-accepting behaviors. I've wrote up a little bit of a list here. A little bit of a list with some examples on it. Let's give it a few minutes, let some people get in here, and then we'll get going. I won't keep you guys for too long. Rocking that, I can't really see it, rocking that Stranger Things shirt today. I love these streams. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Hello, hello everyone. Hello, hello. Examples of non-accepting behaviors. I just figured this would be helpful. I figured this would be a helpful little stream to do. That way you can kind of compare the things I'm about to say to your daily life. Am I doing these things? Am I truly accepting? Let's figure that out today. Let's figure that out. We'll give it about, give or take another minute, and then we'll get started. Loving the Discord chat. Yeah, speaking of the Discord chat, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me grab a link to that. Discord chat's been going through some changes. It's been going through some changes. Really been working hard on that. If you'd like to join the Discord chat, I'm gonna drop a link to that right now. There you go. There you go. Alright, you guys. Been live for about 5 minutes. I think that's good. I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, examples of non-accepting behaviors is what we're gonna be talking about in this stream. Like I said, I figured this would be a helpful little stream for some people out there who are kind of curious on whether or not they are truly using acceptance. So before I get into it, we need to be sure of one thing. We need to understand one thing, and that's the brain decides what to set your anxiety levels at based on your behaviors. Okay, it sees what you do, it watches what you do, it sees how you react to the anxiety. Okay, and then it makes its assumption based on that. So the brain doesn't know if there's a real danger or not. It's totally going off what you tell it, okay, through your behaviors, the only language the brain speaks. So now that we understand that, let's give some examples of non-accepting behaviors. These are things you shouldn't be doing if you want to be sending your brain the right message if you want to heal. So the first one that I've gotten wrote down here is staying quiet. Now, understand that anxiety and panic has been with us as human beings since the beginning of time. So back in the caveman days when we were in our caves cooking up our steaks, if we have anxiety and experience anxiety, okay, it's there to try to save our lives from any sort of dangers that might be outside of our caves trying to steal our steak. All right, so anxiety, its goal is to get you fighting or fleeing. Now, if you're staying quiet, okay, our first example of non-accepting behavior, if you're staying quiet and you're just staying to yourself, which goes into the next thing I have written down here, hiding and isolating. Okay, if you're hiding, isolating, and staying quiet, what do you think your brain is going to assume? If the brain bases your anxiety levels based off of your behaviors, if that's the only thing it has to go off of, what do you think it's going to assume if it sees you hiding, isolating, and staying quiet, aka staying in bed all day, aka hiding yourself from the world, aka cutting off all your friends, not talking to anybody, staying strictly on the subject of anxiety and just giving up on everything else, isolating? What do you think your brain is going to assume? Okay, well, the brain is still back in the caveman days, so it's going to assume that you're inside of your little cave there and that you are hiding from some great danger. Okay, you are hiding from some great danger or threat. So, if you are isolating, hiding, or staying quiet, you need to understand that you are sending the wrong message to your brain. Now, this is the one that I personally did the most while I was in my severe bouts of sensitization. Staying quiet and isolating. I would quit talking to my friends. I would quit talking to anybody around me. I would stay completely quiet into myself, completely isolated. I wouldn't even move from the bed. So this is, the mistake that I made, staying quiet, hiding, and isolating. And you have to look at it like that. You really do. You have to look at it like your brain is still in the caveman days, because it is. So if you're doing any of those three things or all of those three things, what do you think the brain is going to assume? It's going to assume you're trying to avoid some sort of great danger or threat that is lurking just outside of your cave. And when it assumes that, what happens? When it makes that assumption, okay, it keeps your anxiety levels high because it assumes that there is some sort of real threat or danger, and it wants to protect you. That is its job. It wants to protect you. So staying quiet, hiding, isolating. Why am I so snotty today? Staying quiet, hiding, isolating, things that we want to not do. Okay, these are non-accepting behaviors. Now, moving on to the next thing that I've got wrote down here, fleeing. This one is very obvious, pretty straightforward. If you are feeling anxiety, if your anxiety levels are high and you are running from them, okay, trying not to feel them, doing everything in your power to avoid them, that is considered fleeing. And when you do this, again, the question is, what does your brain assume? What do you think your brain assumes? Okay, if it sees you fleeing, it's going to assume that you're running from some sort of real threat or danger, aka a tiger or a bear. It's going to assume when it sees you fleeing that you are trying to run for your life. And when it assumes that, what happens? Okay, same thing if you're staying quiet, hiding, or isolating, it is going to keep your anxiety high. It's doing what it thinks is best for you based on your behaviors. Again, and very important fact is that the only language your brain speaks is your reactions and behaviors. Okay, so if it sees you staying quiet, hiding, isolating, or fleeing, what do you think it's going to assume? All right. And that's why with acceptance, we accept our feelings and move on, act how we want to feel, get on with our life. Okay. Now, the next thing that I've gotten written down here is avoiding. So, avoiding, again, this is a very straightforward, obvious one. If we are in the midst of anxiety and we start to avoid things that we normally would do, no matter how big or small, if we're avoiding, okay, the brain is going to assume that we are trying to avoid some sort of real threat or danger. And what does it do? Okay, it does the same thing it does when you're staying quiet, hiding, isolating, or fleeing. It keeps your anxiety levels high. All right, and it does this because it only speaks the language of your behaviors. So, again, these are just a few things that I've gotten written down here. I'll go over them one more time. Staying quiet, hiding, isolating, fleeing, avoiding. Okay, and you can kind of, sit back and reflect on these things and ask yourself, be honest with yourself. It's very important during recovery that you are honest with yourself. Am I doing any of these things? If the answer is yes, then that's where the change needs to be made. Now, I know the last thing you feel like doing is living a normal life or trying to live a normal life when you feel like shit. I get that. I completely understand that. But the longer you do any of these things that I just went over, the longer you use non accepting behaviors, the longer the brain is going to continue to assume that there's a real danger or threat. Now, we logically and rationally know there is no real danger or threat. Okay, we know that. The brain does not, and it is our job by using acceptance and just getting on with life with our behaviors to prove that to the brain. So, when you first start your day and you decide that today's going to be an accepting day, which is how you should start every day, when you first start your day, you're probably not going to want to do these things. You're probably not going to want to get on with accepting behaviors and, for example, do your housework that needs done or grocery shop or talk about something other than anxiety or listen to music or do the dishes, whatever. You're probably not going to want to do any of these normal everyday things because you feel like shit, and I understand that. But that's where you've got to motivate yourself by reminding yourself, the longer I continue to behave like I feel like shit, the longer I will feel like shit. Okay, because the brain only speaks one language. Again, class. Okay, what is the one language the brain speaks? Can someone answer that in the comments? What is the who's been paying attention here? What is the one language that the brain speaks? Okay, who can answer that one? By the way, the point of this stream is pretty much over now. I just wanted to go over a small list of non-accepting behaviors so you could kind of get the idea of what I mean. But who can answer that question? What is the one language the brain speaks? Who has been paying attention? We're going to get into comments and reading comments now. If you were just here for the point of the stream, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Definitely reflecting right now. Thank you so much for this. Yes, that was the main point of doing this stream. That's the main point of wanting to tackle this topic, is so that I could get people to reflect on their actions. Is looking at your videos also a non-accepting behavior? In parentheses, no disrespect. The way I view that, if you want to watch my videos, of course you have to learn in order to use the advice. It is fine to watch my videos as they come out. I wouldn't obsess and sit on them all day 24/7. Absolutely not. Okay, because Googling and obsessing, again, is a non-accepting behavior. Because what are you usually doing when you're Googling and obsessing with videos? You're usually hiding and isolating. But if you want to watch my videos and streams as they come out because you want to learn, that is perfectly fine. I understand that, but you have to make sure you're using the advice in the meantime. So once my stream goes off or once that video ends, get back into life and use your accepting behaviors. It's uncomfortable and there's a lot of resistance at first, but it gets easier with time. Yes. Behavior, actions, behavior. Okay, there's all those answers. There's all those answers. You guys were paying attention. Okay. Stealing steak. Yes. Act how you want to feel. Yes. Behaving, reactions, response, what we tell ourselves. Yes. There's many words you could use for that. Glad to see you again. I'm glad to see you again, man. It's been a while, Richard. Welcome. Yeah, so I hope the topic of this stream made some people reflect. It's really easy to continue to use non-accepting behaviors and not even know it or realize it, rather. Because you can lie to yourself. I lied to myself for a very long time. It's very easy to lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're using acceptance, but then if you reflect on everything I just said in the stream, you'll realize that you are lying to yourself. And there's a lot of things you are doing that fall under the category of non-accepting behaviors: staying quiet, hiding, isolating, fleeing, avoiding. Um, if you're honest with yourself, okay, and you do reflect, you 9 times out of 10 discover that maybe there is some changes you could make. What if we sit around and stay quiet naturally, and it doesn't have to do with feeling anxious? You have to force yourself up and doing things. If you're not anxious, no. If you're not anxious and you're just chilling out and relaxing, that's fine. What this applies to, acceptance applies to when you're feeling anxious. Acceptance applies to sensitization. Acceptance applies to when you're feeling those bouts of anxiety. Okay, because the brain learns the most while anxiety is turned on. So if you're not feeling anxious or sensitized, then you don't really have to worry so much about what your behaviors are telling you or doing. But if you are sensitized or anxious or trying to recover, then absolutely, absolutely. If you are anxious or in the midst of anxiety or symptoms, whatever, then absolutely you should be using acceptance and trying to not use non-accepting behaviors. I mean, if your anxiety is not clicking, okay, if your anxiety is not turned on and active, then you don't really have to concern yourself too much with your behaviors in that moment, right? Because your anxiety is not turned on. The brain is not watching to see what your reactions to the anxiety are. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense, right? If you're not anxious, the brain's not watching to see how you react to the anxiety because the anxiety is not there. So we don't have to concern ourselves too much with our behaviors in those moments. You're just not anxious. Congratulations. So basically, oh my God, my heart is racing. Let me sit around in my room and check my pulse all day. Yeah, yeah. Why do I feel some days like I'm 100 years old, no energy to do anything, but I still move forward? Anxiety is draining. Plain and simple, anxiety is draining and it's tiring. And I completely understand that. For example, studying with a friend or meeting someone, I just go in normally, but the symptom always stays. What can I do? The symptoms are not going to disappear right away, and this is something we commonly see here on the channel. A lot of people trying to use acceptance like a pill. I'm not saying you're trying to do that. This is just an example. But a lot of people say, okay, I'm accepting and I'm using accepting behaviors, but the symptoms are still there. Expect that. Expect that until your nerves heal. It does take time for the brain to learn and retrain. And I know that can be frustrating, but as long as you're moving forward, you will heal, you will gain confidence, and it will get easier. That was a really, really good question, though, PJ. I'm glad you asked that so we could clear that up. I'm glad you asked that. Also, we did have an off-stream donation from Will, so thank you very much for that, Will. I believe that was yesterday. Thank you so much for that, man. I truly appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Why is my nose so itchy all of a sudden? So when you feel anxious, just go about whatever you're doing in a calm manner as if it doesn't exist. Exactly. Go about your life. Go about doing what you would normally do anyway. I seem to be so sleepy and fall asleep when I watch TV or at the computer. Yeah, like I said, anxiety can be draining. I get that. It can be tiring. The worst symptom anxiety gives me is the nausea. I feel like it makes it so hard to accept. Yeah, stomach issues are a bit complicated. I get it. I get it, but the same applies. Okay, the symptoms suck. Okay, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree with that. The symptoms suck, but as long as you're using the advice, you will heal. You will heal, and that includes your nausea, your symptoms, whatever they may be. I keep forgetting that your username is different than your donation name. But thank you again for that. Appreciate it. Will, you're the best. I had an energy crash yesterday. And it's okay to be tired. It's more than okay to be tired, and it's okay to feel these symptoms. By using accepting behaviors, I'm not telling you, fight the symptoms, don't want to feel the symptoms. I'm telling you to accept the symptoms. They are uncomfortable and suck, but we're going to accept them, and we're just going to carry on anyway. I'm not telling you to fight them. Absolutely not. It's been a year since I was extremely sensitized, but I found Wonder Bro and stuck to his advice. It wasn't easy, but I am in a much better place today. Wish you guys luck on your journey. That is awesome. Thank you for coming in and sharing that with everybody. It really does help spread some hope and good vibes. Appreciate that. Samantha, in time you'll gain confidence. Yeah, depression, guidance needed. So you're going to get a lot of negative, thoughts when you're in a state of depression or when you're just anxious or sensitized. Negative thoughts are going to happen. What you have to do is acknowledge the thought, accept that it's there. There's nothing wrong with noticing it, but you don't want to touch it. You don't want to argue with it. You don't want to fight with it. The more you do that, the stickier it becomes. You just want to stick to your accepting behaviors. Carry on with life as if everything is fine, because truly everything is. You're in a bluffed state of mind with the depression and anxiety. You just want to carry on with the accepting behaviors while not giving those thoughts any more airtime than they deserve. If they want to be there, that's fine, but you don't want to add fuel to the fire. Absolutely, Albert. Certain set of sensations, then they go away, and another set comes in waves, and it throws me off. Yeah, so waves and sets of symptoms coming in and out. I understand how that could, throw you off, but stay on track. Do your best to stay on track and continue on with accepting behaviors. Eventually, those symptoms will fade. Abraham. What about for people with no friends or boring lives? Can they still recover? Not trying to be funny. Anyone applies to this. Absolutely, you can still recover. There's plenty of things that you can do throughout your day, whether you have a bunch of friends or no friends, or whether you find yourself to be a quote-unquote boring person or not a boring person. There's plenty of things that you can do throughout your day that are accepting in nature. Yeah, here's the the twerking alien. Alright guys, enjoy the amazing BRB screen music while I go grab a cigarette. There we go. Abraham. Good old Abraham Lincoln. How you been, man? How you been? How's everybody been? It's probably really loud. Isn't that fancy? I didn't know that for the longest time when I bought this headset. All you gotta do is push this thing up and it mutes. Awesome. Awesome. That is a really nifty little feature. Instead of having to like fill around for a mute button, just flip the thing up. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Would recommend. I gotta fix the chat. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. Doing well, that's awesome. Glad to hear it. I'm going to drop the link to the Discord one more time. We've been working hard on the Discord. Feel free to join us over there. Get rid of that. Yeah, getting tripped up over your words, PJ, is pretty normal, especially in a state of nervousness. We see a lot of speech issues contributed to anxiety and nervousness. I would say it's very, very normal. I'm feeling that I'm finally not sensitized anymore. So happy. Only some scary thoughts. All the feelings will come back one. All the feelings will come back one day. So you're a bit of a. You're being a bit paranoid, basically, at this point. And that's understandable. You just went through a lot with sensitization and anxiety. And I get that you never want to feel that way again. But leave those thoughts alone because they're only going to lead to obsession. Reflect on how far you've come. Be happy and grateful for where you are now. And when those negative thoughts come, treat them as any other negative thought. Don't touch them. Don't fuel them. They're unimportant. They're irrelevant. And they don't help. Good morning from Canada. Hello, Derek. Welcome. How are you doing, buddy? How are you doing? Welcome. Believe me, guys. Okay, believe me. It doesn't matter
donation
how far down on the totem pole you feel. Thank you, Gomez. That's Gomez, right? 21 Gomez. Thank you for that $5 donation. Mwah. Mwah. I'll update that in just a second. Thank you. What I was saying was, it doesn't matter how far down on the totem pole you feel or how low you think you are, you can recover. You can. That's all I wanted to say. You can recover. Let's see here. Let me update that. Thank you so much for that, bro. I appreciate that. That helps me a ton. Thank you. Thank you. I set that monthly tip goal like 4 days ago. 4 days ago, and you guys have already almost reached the tip goal. I really appreciate that. That means a ton. 4 days, 4 days, and we've already almost reached our goal. I appreciate that, guys. You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I'm at the giving up point. I'm doing whatever I want, regardless of how I feel. Yes, exactly. Boom, nailed it. Good evening from Holland. Hello, welcome. All over the world. We got people all over the world. All over the world. Can you guys hear the background music? Oh, I need to switch this. Yeah, there we go. The acceptance method has been helping me a great deal. I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for it all. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that. I'm glad it's helping you. Continue forth. Continue onward. Okay. Dedication. No problem, man. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Miguel. For sure that's how you pronounce that, right? Thank you for that $5. Did you ever drink alcohol while sensitized? Absolutely not. It's a horrible idea. Horrible idea. And that sounds weird coming from me, right? I would usually never tell you to avoid anything, but drinking alcohol is a choice. We don't have to put our nerves through that physical strain. We really don't. It's a choice, so of course I wouldn't recommend it. I've been feeling weird thinking about thinking, and I feel outside of myself sometimes to question everything. How to stop this? Just carry on? Yes, absolutely. The first step is always to just carry on. The second step is to stop touching those thoughts. Stop getting involved with those thoughts. Let them play out while you use accepting behaviors. Let them play out while you carry on with life. They go hand in hand. Use both of the two main keys. Use both of the two main keys. They go hand in hand. Use them both together. That's why we have the two main keys. Can't have one without the other. Understandable, Derek. So the next thing that you'll probably see here on the channel will be a video. Just throwing that out there. Why does it make my eye vision so weird? There's a lot of visual symptoms that can come along with anxiety, like tunnel vision, DP, DR. Very normal to experience that. I'm always going to recommend the two main keys. That's a PJ. Yeah, I mean, I never want to villainize the mind. I'm not saying it's bad to have a thinking mind. In fact, there's many pleasant thoughts that you can think, and it's okay to kind of play with those pleasant thoughts. But as far as those negative, intrusive thoughts go, those obsessive thoughts, that's the one that we want to not touch, not get involved with. I've had this song stuck in my head all day. Just carry on. Just carry on. Use the two main keys. They go hand in hand. Can't have one without the other. Okay, and in a nutshell, those two main keys are to just let the thoughts play out. Don't try to do anything. Don't bother doing anything with them while you just carry on with accepting behaviors. And if you missed this stream and you're curious about the point of this stream, examples of non-accepting behaviors, this stream will be uploaded. Okay? And I believe you can even rewind in the middle of a stream. Exactly. Carry on. Discord link right there. Come join us. It only takes a second to sign up. It's completely free, and that's a chat that runs 24/7. Make some friends. Let's see. If you have donated in the past and you are in the Discord chat, please let me know so I can give you the donator badge. Please let me know. It's very messed up how they send you to therapy and put you on medication rather than give us the knowledge you're telling us. It's just a way to rip desperate people off. I don't really touch on therapy and or medication, okay? But in my personal opinion, okay, and I just want to throw this out there, if you're seeing a therapist, continue to see your therapist. If you see a doctor, continue to see your doctor. That's all a personal choice, and that's completely up to you. Okay, I'm not responsible for what you do as far as that's concerned, but in my personal opinion, all right, I agree with you. I agree with you. But then again, there has been an increase in acceptance-based therapies. Okay, that's something we're seeing more and more of these days. I think it's starting to catch on, and people are starting to realize, holy crap, this is the way to go. So we are seeing more and more acceptance-based therapies start to pop up. But there still is a lot of old school doctors and therapists out there that would rather just throw pills at you. Yeah, for the most part. Not that there's anything wrong with taking medication. Listen to your doctor. Okay, listen to your doctor. But that's just my opinion. Oh yeah, you're gonna feel exhausted. You're gonna feel exhausted, especially if you're fighting. Especially if you're doing a lot of internal fighting. But regardless, even if you're using acceptance, more than likely you're gonna feel exhausted and tired. Thank you so much, Joyce, for that $5 donation. I believe you went straight through the PayPal, which is fine. Thank you so much for that. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome and so caring and giving. I appreciate it. Let's update that. We are almost at our tip goal. Again, that we set only 5 days ago. It was supposed to be a monthly tip goal, and you've already knocked it out in like 4 days. So thank you guys so much for that. Appreciate that. Can we show some emoji love to all of our donators in the chat? Let's spam those emojis. Let's let them know we're thankful and grateful. Understandable. Limbs just feel permanently knackered. Understandable. Understandable. Anxiety and this journey as a whole can be very tiring and physically taxing. Was my sleep off when I was recovering? Absolutely. In fact, for the most part, I didn't sleep. For the most part, I didn't sleep. While it was severe, I didn't get a lot of sleep. As I started to use acceptance and introduce acceptance into my life, and I began to make progress, the sleep started to return, and thoughts from past trauma be overcome by doing nothing. Absolutely. We never want to interact with or fuel those thoughts. Just let them play out. Continue on with accepting behaviors. Let them play out. Continue on with accepting behaviors. Yes, spam that chat with that emoji love. Let's see some more emojis. Come on, let's get those emojis going. Let's show our donators that we are thankful for them and we are grateful for them. Thank you. Spam that chat. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Gomez. Will, Shannon, Alex, Lucy, some of our recent donators. Haley, thank you. You guys are awesome. Song's been stuck in my head all day. I like seeing your emoji choice. I don't know why that's fun for me. I like seeing what emojis you choose. Woo! Bum 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 bum. You deserve a bigger audience. We're getting there. We're almost at 10K. It's been a journey. It's been a journey to 10K, but we're getting there. We are getting there. We're growing every single day, and it's all thanks to you guys. Really appreciate it. Incorporating play into your daily life is important. It's the fastest way to show your brain you are safe. Exactly. Exactly. Have fun. Have fun. I know you don't feel like having fun, okay? And it might feel a little bit forced, but have fun anyway. And naturally, okay? Naturally you'll see. You'll see how that helps, okay? And the forced fun will become a bit more natural as you get into it. It's a good comment. It's a good comment. Good comment. Thank you, Robert, for the $10 donation. Can we get some love for Robert in the chat? I believe you went directly through the PayPal, which is fine. Thank you so much for that $10 donation. Appreciate it. Let's update that. You guys are so nice. Thank you, guys. Let's update it. Look at that. We are $5 away from the tip goal. That, and I'm going to say this every time. That we set only like 4 days ago. You guys are fucking killing it. You guys are demolishing that shit. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. You guys are fucking amazing. I'm cursing a lot today. I've been trying to watch the cursing because I mean YouTube's just cracking down on everything these days. Oh, okay. Robert left a bit of a note here. I've got it pulled up. Thanks for all you do. Please split with the twerking alien. Oh, that's amazing. Please split with the twerking alien. Will do, Robert. Will do. I'll make sure she gets her cut. Is this channel about fear and how we deal with it? Yes. Yes, hence the name Vacate Fear. Okay? With the things that I teach here on the channel and the advice that I give, the main goal of this channel is to leave fear in the past, to leave fear behind. Live a life without so much fear. Vacate fear. Thanks again, Robert, for the $10. Thank you, Gomez. Who else? Joyce, thank you. Can we spam some more emojis? Can we spam some more emojis? You guys are fucking awesome. Are you humming Psycho Killer by Talking Heads? I am. Yes. I'm so glad someone got that. I'm so glad someone got that. Bum 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 bum. You know, I recently watched the Jeffrey Dahmer movie. My Friend Dahmer, I think is what it's called. I don't know. It's about him growing up. I recently watched that and then realized that was the music video for that song, and it's been stuck in my head. Decent movie, by the way. If you're interested in watching that, if you've been considering it, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's interesting. It's interesting. And I'm not a big movie guy. I'm very picky about movies that I watch. It's hard for me to get interested in a movie. So if I say that it's pretty good, then it's probably worth watching. Maybe, I don't know. Why is my screen so crooked? Oh god. I'm getting fat. I'm getting fatter by the day. To fix this. This is bugging me. No. Oh god, now I've got it all messed up. Now I've got it all messed up. See what you did? You just couldn't leave it alone, could you? You just couldn't leave it alone, and now you fucked it up. I don't look very appealing in this light. I need better lighting or a better webcam one. The beard is in the process of growing back in full. I was rocking the chin strap, but now we're going to go full-blown caveman. And that's why it looks like I haven't shaved in a few days, because I haven't. Trying to grow that full beard back in. Why am I so close? I've messed it up. I had it and I messed it up. Fear, F everything and run, or face everything and recover. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Now where'd my phone go? Where'd my phone go? Okay, I found it. I did have this perfect at one point. That. There we go. Okay. Can belief be broken using doing opposite thing that the belief says? Beliefs can be broken just by not entertaining them. All a belief is, at the end of the day, is a repetitive thought that you continue to think and entertain. That's all it is, at the end of the day. Psycho killer. Morning, everyone. Hello, welcome. How are you doing? Welcome to the chat. If you get anxious and you have the urge to get up and flee, then don't. Continue just watching your movie. Basically, don't change anything. Yeah, don't react. Don't react. If the anxiety is telling you to flee or avoid, don't. If the anxiety is telling you to just isolate yourself and curl up in a ball, don't. Just do the opposite of what the anxiety wants you to do, basically. Accepting behaviors. Don't show any sort of resistance. Don't show any sort of fear to the fear. If you react fearfully to the fear, you're showing your brain that there's something to be afraid of. You're showing your brain that there's something to be afraid of. So if you get anxiety while you're sitting there watching a movie and your first response is to get up and run around the house, okay, what do you think that's going to tell your brain? If you get up and run around the house because some anxiety came while you were watching your movie, and you immediately got up and reacted to it by running around and pacing around the house, what do you think that's going to tell your brain? It's going to tell your brain that, hey, I sent an alarm, I sounded the anxiety alarm, and my person got up and ran around the house. So there must be some sort of real threat or danger, so I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna remember that. And it's gonna keep your anxiety levels high. How often do I go live? It really just depends. I don't have like a set streamer schedule or anything like that. I do videos and streams, a little bit of both. So here recently, we've been live like every day for the past 3 days. It really just depends. It's all over the place. Your best bet, okay, if you're not already, is just subscribe. Just subscribe, because I don't know. I myself don't know what's gonna happen on the channel before it happens. It just kind of happens. $10 from Skipper. Thank you, Skipper. I haven't seen a Skipper in the chat. Your name's probably different. You went directly through the PayPal too. That is absolutely fine. I can update that here. Thank you so much. We have broke our goal. We have broke our goal that we literally just set. Oh wow, that's wrong. We have just broke our tip goal. Supposed to be a monthly tip goal, and you guys broke it. There's no note with that donation, by the way. You guys broke it within like 4 days of me setting it. Wow. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say besides thank you. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I'm so grateful. So grateful. Thank you guys. That is awesome. monthly tip goal broken within 4 days. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I'm just going to leave it on screen like that. I'm just going to leave it up there like that so you guys can see that you've already shattered the goal. Thank you, Skipper. I don't know what your name is in the live stream chat, but thank you so much, Skipper, Gomez, Joyce. I know I'm missing somebody. Just thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I recommend, if you're sensitized to that point, that you rewatch the beginning of this video, take note of the non-accepting behaviors that I went over, and just avoid doing those. Avoid doing those non-accepting behaviors. You deserve it though, Wonder Bro. God is blessing you whether you believe in him or not. Well, thank you, PJ. I appreciate that so much. Wonder Bro, do the tip dance, that nice beat. Yeah, I would. I mean, but if you go directly through the PayPal, which, like I said, is fine. If you go directly through the PayPal and you don't use the link in the description, it won't do the video and the music and stuff in the Hall of Fame. Oh, it's that I always point the wrong way. It won't do all that fancy stuff if you just send it directly to me. Either way is fine, but that's why that's not happening. In case you're wondering why you didn't get music and all the fancy shit, that's why. That's why. It's not a problem. But that's why you don't get all the fancy stuff. In 100 years from now, nobody will deal with anxiety at all. I mean, hey, as acceptance becomes a more and more popular concept and people are starting to wake up, people are starting to literally wake up, you never know. 100 years from now, anxiety may not be a thing. May not be a thing at all. We might have evolved out of that. I get in fear of the future only when I'm not grounded in recovery prayer and reading scripture. So fear of the future just comes from thought. Again, the context of a thought is irrelevant. Whether it's fear of the future or thinking about the past or a totally made up imaginary situation involving the future, or whatever the case may be, thought is just a thought. And you don't want to touch it. You don't want to give it more fuel than it already has, and the longer you just continue on with accepting behaviors and leaving the thoughts alone, completely leaving them alone, not bothering with them, the closer you'll be to recovery. Thank you guys again so much for smashing that monthly tip goal within 4 fucking days. That is unbelievable. Truly the best community on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. Alright, I'm going to grab a quick smoke again. We're taking another little smoke break. Enjoy the BRB screen music. I'll keep up with the chat on my phone, and I'll be right back. back in action. What's up, guys? What's up? We have got ourselves a Capri Sun. Shit's so good. Why don't they sell it in 2 liters? So good. Feels like I'm back in the 80s. Yeah, I love that music. Whew. I can drink these things so fast. Like, it's already gone. It's already gone. Just continue to game. If the thought is there, let it be there, let it play out, but just continue doing whatever it is you're doing, using your accepting behaviors. Absolutely, 2 main keys, like I said, they always go hand in hand. Can't have one without the other. Can't have one without the other. Acceptance is all about dropping the desire to change, control, alter the anxiety, to do anything about it, to do anything with those thoughts. We just continue on with accepting behaviors, show the brain that there's no real danger. And as far as those pesky thoughts are concerned, we just don't want to say anything to them. It's okay if they're there, it's okay if they play, but we don't want to touch them. We don't want to touch them. We don't want to give them any importance. At the end of the day, thought's just a thought, and we don't want to bother with them. When you're in that severely sensitized state, a lot of the things you do are going to kind of feel like a overload, just because you are in such a sensitized state. However, I would recommend, carrying on with accepting behaviors, even if you do have to give certain things up because it's just unbearable. I would always recommend, of course, carrying on with accepting behaviors. And sometimes, those accepting behaviors can appear to make the anxiety worse, but this is only at first. This is only at first. I had a German Shepherd almost chase me. My body didn't give me much anxiety, but it will randomly give me 10 times more for no reason. It's because you're sensitized at this point. When you're in a sensitized body, the alarm bells ring a lot louder. Okay, and they're much more fragile. They're much more willing to pop off over seemingly nothing. And that's what it means to be sensitized. Thoughts are just thoughts. I tell myself that all day long. Yes, exactly. Thoughts are just thoughts. They don't have any There's no ground for thoughts in reality, so just let thoughts be thoughts. And if it's thoughts concerning reality, negative thoughts about your reality, they're not helpful anyway, so let those thoughts just be thoughts too. I still do a 2-hour walk every morning no matter what. Feel like I'm dying, but no fear for it. Just not pleasant. Well, it's good that you're continuing to do things, right? Even if you are in a severely sensitized state. It's good that you're continuing to do things. Absolutely. To get out of the sensitized state, we have to use the two main keys. They go hand in hand. Like I said, that's a point I've been stressing this stream, is that you can't have one without the other. So continue using the two main keys. Continue to try to introduce accepting positive behaviors. And don't bother with those thoughts. Focus on your accepting behaviors. Make that your main focus. Let the thoughts just drift into the background. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I know when I was severely sensitized and I went through multiple bouts of that, because you can come out on top of a sensitized bout, right, and recover even if you're not using acceptance. Like eventually you can just recover. You can get that lucky, which happened with me. Eventually I just snapped out of it. Of course it returned because I still had those bad habits, but when I was severely sensitized, it was helpful to write down my accomplishments for the day. If I did something that was positive in nature, I would write that down just so I could kind of reflect at the end of each day on how much I accomplished. Do you know why your stomach sinks when you just get nervous in general? I don't know, it's just a body thing, right? It's just something that happens. I wouldn't know exactly why that happens. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Then if you will recover anyway. Can you rephrase that? I might be able to answer your question, but only if you rephrase it. And just to kind of elaborate on what I said earlier when I said that I've gotten lucky before and came out of bouts of sensitization. Basically what I mean by that is it got to the point where even though I didn't know about acceptance or wasn't using acceptance to the best of my ability, I still came out of it because I stopped fighting. I didn't know that I was using acceptance at the time, but there's been sensitized bouts that I've experienced back when I used to have them back to back before I knew about acceptance, where I would come out of them simply because I got so tired of fighting that I stopped fighting. I didn't know I was using acceptance, and I didn't know how to use acceptance. Of course, the sensitization would eventually come back anyway because I still had bad habits that I would pick back up. And I think that's basically what your question was. Did you ever get sleep anxiety? So when I was in my bouts, sleep was something that was very, very hard to come by, and I think that's pretty common for anybody who's been sensitized. I keep a chart of my progress every day so I can see for myself that I'm getting better. It helps to encourage me. That's a good idea. I like that. It's because I always fought and fled. Yeah, basically. Anytime I came out of a sensitized bout before I knew what acceptance was, it was because I got lucky. I got lucky and I eventually just stopped fighting, and eventually it went away on its own, even though I didn't really know about acceptance. But it would always come back, so it didn't matter. It would always come back because I still had those bad habits. It wasn't until I learned about acceptance and start truly using it and practicing it that I made true progress. psycho killer. I'm gonna drop the link to the Discord for time here. Right there. The return of it, you prevent that by learning about acceptance and using acceptance. So it only ever returns if you pick up, back up on bad habits. For those of you who really don't know how to do it, rewatch this stream. At the beginning of the stream, we go over examples of non-accepting behaviors, and basically you just want to avoid using non-accepting behaviors. But acceptance in a nutshell is just to carry on with your life. Show your brain, okay, in the only language it speaks, which is your behaviors, that there's no tiger in the room with you. So examples would be, you would never flee, you would never fight. The two main keys in a nutshell is just to let those thoughts play out. Don't touch them. If they want to be there, that's fine, but we're no longer touching them. And just to continue on living life how we want to feel. Act how we want to feel. That's basically acceptance in a nutshell. Alright, you guys. I am starving, so I'm going to go get something to eat. It has been a good stream. Love you guys. Thank you for all your donations. We broke our monthly tip goal within 4 days, so thank you so much for that. Truly, truly am grateful for everything you guys do for me, and we'll continue to help each other here. So thank you for watching, okay? Appreciate you stopping by. If you aren't subscribed, consider doing so. Alright, link to the Discord is a few comments up. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and until next time, as always. Right there.